Here's something nobody warned you about. You can do everything society tells you is right and still feel like you're drowning. You're checking all the boxes. Early mornings? Check. Gym sessions? Check. Personal development books stacked on your nightstand? Check. Healthy eating, financial discipline, saying yes to growth opportunities? Check, check, check. But somewhere beneath all that achievement, there's this quiet exhaustion, this low-grade anxiety that won't leave. This nagging feeling that despite doing everything right, something feels fundamentally wrong. And before you spiral into self-blame, let me stop you right there. You're not broken. You're not lacking willpower or motivation. In fact, the problem might be the opposite. You might be too good at being good. Because here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to admit. Good habits can turn toxic. Not because they're bad in themselves, but because we take them too far, apply them too rigidly, or use them for the wrong reasons. What starts as self-care slowly morphs into self-punishment. What begins as growth becomes a prison. If you've ever felt exhausted by your own discipline, if your life feels more like an endless performance review than an actual life, stay with me. We're about to explore 7 so-called good habits that might be quietly sabotaging your peace. Some will hit close to home. Some might make you uncomfortable. But recognizing even one could be the breakthrough you've been searching for. So, take a breath. Settle in. Let's talk about what happens when good habits go bad. First up, the productivity addiction. We live in a culture that worships efficiency. Hustle culture. Rise and grind. Optimize everything. So you do. You craft the perfect morning routine. You time block your calendar down to the minute. You batch process tasks, automate decisions, and squeeze productivity from every available second. At first, it feels incredible. You're in control. You're making things happen. But gradually, something shifts. Life stops feeling like life and starts feeling like a performance. Every moment becomes transactional. Sitting quietly feels like failure. Watching a show without also meal prepping feels wasteful. A simple walk becomes another opportunity to consume content at 2x speed. You've become efficient, sure, but at what cost? You're running on empty, constantly anxious, and ironically, you've lost sight of why you wanted to be productive in the first place. Real productivity isn't cramming more into every moment. It's protecting space for what genuinely matters, including rest, play, and simply being human. Then there's the yes epidemic. You pride yourself on being helpful, flexible, generous. When someone asks for your time, you give it. Extra project at work? Sure. Help a friend move? Absolutely. Join another committee? Why not? Kindness is beautiful, but unchecked agreeability is self-abandonment. Every yes to someone else is a no to yourself. Your calendar fills with other people's priorities while yours get pushed to someday. You become the person everyone can count on, except yourself. Resentment builds. Exhaustion settles in. You start feeling invisible in your own life. The real skill isn't learning to say yes. It's learning to say, let me get back to you. It's understanding that boundaries aren't walls. They're bridges to sustainable relationships. Saying no doesn't make you selfish. It makes you honest. Here's a paradox. You can become addicted to self-improvement. Strange, right? But think about it. The books, the podcasts, the courses, the frameworks, the hacks, you're always consuming, always upgrading, always searching for the next breakthrough. It becomes a never-ending quest, a belief that you're only valuable when you're leveling up. But this obsession carries a hidden message. You're not enough as you are. Every new habit becomes proof that the current you is inadequate. Meditation stops being peaceful and becomes another task to complete. Every hobby gets optimized until the joy drains out. You're not living. You're perpetually preparing to live. Growth is beautiful, but it happens in seasons, not sprints. Sometimes the most revolutionary thing you can do is accept yourself exactly as you are right now, messy bits and all. You're not a project to be completed. You're a person to be lived. Now let's talk about when healthy habits become handcuffs. Maybe you started eating clean and it genuinely improved your health. Great. But then the rules multiply. The restrictions tighten. Missing a workout creates intense anxiety. Someone suggests pizza and you feel panic, not preference. You've crossed from discipline into rigidity. Your habits no longer serve you. They own you. Flexibility isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Life is messy and unpredictable. The goal isn't perfect adherence, it's sustainable practice. Missing one day won't derail your progress, but the stress of perfection absolutely will. Your habits should be tools in your hands, not chains around your wrists. Then there's the tyranny of positive thinking. Good vibes only. Look on the bright side. Just be grateful. Positivity has become a moral obligation, and that's dangerous. Because life isn't always positive. Sometimes things hurt. Sometimes you're genuinely struggling. Forcing yourself to smile through pain doesn't heal it, it buries it. Toxic positivity dismisses real emotions. It tells you that sadness is failure, that anger is weakness, that struggle means you're doing something wrong. So you hide. You perform happiness while screaming inside. You invalidate your own experience. What if instead we made space for the full spectrum? What if feeling sad didn't mean you were broken? What if anger was information, not a character flaw? Real emotional health isn't constant happiness. It's honest feeling, whatever that looks like today. Being the reliable one sounds noble, doesn't it? The person who never drops the ball, never lets anyone down, always comes through. But reliability becomes a trap when everyone learns they can depend on you and you alone. You become the emotional support system, the backup plan, the fixer, the safety net. And if you ever slip, even once, the guilt is crushing. You've trained people to expect perfection, and anything less feels like betrayal. You're not in a relationship, you're in a service role, and people stop seeing you as human, they see you as a resource. Letting others struggle sometimes isn't cruelty, it's respect. It says, I believe you can handle this. It creates space for mutual relationships instead of one-way rescue missions. Being occasionally unreliable might be the most loving thing you can do. Finally, the trap of excessive self-reflection. Introspection is valuable. Understanding yourself matters. But there's a line where reflection becomes rumination, where insight becomes obsession. You replay every conversation, dissect every decision, analyze every emotion until you're paralyzed. You leave a meeting and spend 3 hours wondering if you said something wrong. You lie awake reviewing a mistake from last year as if mental replay can change it. You're trapped in your own mind, endlessly circling, never landing. Reflection should have a purpose and a time limit. Ask yourself, what can I learn? What can I change? And then, crucially, what must I release? Not everything requires deep analysis. Sometimes the most profound wisdom is simply letting go. So here's the truth beneath everything we've explored. Good habits are only good when they actually serve your life. When they become compulsions, when they're driven by fear or shame or perfectionism, they stop helping and start hurting. The truly good life isn't built by rigidly following rules. It's built through honest self-awareness, through knowing when to push and when to rest, when to discipline and when to release. It's built by asking not, what should I do, but what do I actually need right now? So take a moment, look at your habits with fresh eyes. Which ones are genuinely serving you? Which ones have become prisons you decorated yourself? And most importantly, can you give yourself permission to let go of what no longer fits? You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be true. And that, honestly, is the hardest and most liberating habit of all.